Today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down my current strategy in the sports card market, where I believe lies the most opportunity. Now, before we get into it, I did want to say a little bit about the market, of course. Currently we're seeing a lot of prices go down, especially for some heavy hitters. Some GOATs are really suffering right now, and that is simply because the whole economy is really taking a hit. If you're familiar, crypto, stocks, real estate, everything's kind of going down right now, and softening up a lot. And that is currently, it's not unique to sports cards, which is a good sign. Interest in sports cards, if you look at Google Trends, is still very steady and in fact doing very healthy numbers. So in terms of interest in sports cards, it's there. It's just at the current time, people don't really have as much money to throw into sports cards, and people have a little bit of cold feet in terms of investing right now. But I personally honestly believe that to be the best time to invest for myself personally, as I've saved quite a lot for this moment. Throughout the whole sports card boom, I was always a little bit, hesitant of, when will this finally reach normal levels? I mean, cards like this with a pop of 14,000 were at one point $4,000 or $5,000. And that just did not make much sense. And I think they're currently down to a price where, I see a lot more upside than downside personally. So it's obviously a risk potential. You shouldn't be investing what you can't afford to lose. But at the same time, if you're aggressive during these times, I personally believe it's going to really pay off in the future. So what I'm kind of going after right now is a little bit more of the higher end stuff, and that is simply because I'm finding the best deals on the higher end stuff. Now that is simply because a lot less people are willing to spend $10,000+ cards, $10,000+ on a sports card right now. And that is just based on the current state of the economy. So I think as the buyer pool increases, as prices of stocks bounce back eventually, every time stocks have gone down, they've bounced back, and I personally think crypto, sports cards, sneakers, everything will be the same. It's going to bounce back, but it's going to take some time. Who knows how long it's going to take? I don't have, the magic wand, but I definitely think it's going to be a little bit of time before we start to see things bounce back. And I think this is providing us a really great buying opportunity for lower pop stuff, that a lot of people are just, not quite seeing in the market right now. There's a lot of cards that are going well under, where they should be going, in my opinion. There's some cards that have dipped as much as 90% for the GOATs. And that's where I see personally the most opportunity, because there's always going to be a demand for LeBron cards. There's always going to be a demand for Kobe cards. There's always going to be a demand for Michael Jordan cards. So that's obviously the safest approach to take, is just buying the dip on that, because that stuff is going to go up. I think autographs is a place that's taken a big hit that doesn't really deserve to. These cards like this were going for 10,000 plus at one time. Currently you can snag some Michael Jordan autographs for around 2,000. LeBron autographs for around 3,000-4,000. And I think that's really great opportunity for the long term, because there's not many of these out there right now. And that is causing right now, I should actually say that more people are listing their cards on the market in terms of rare stuff, and there's so much to choose from in terms of really rare, low population, high demand cards that are gonna go up quite a lot in the future, in my opinion. So I think if you're aggressive in that sort of space, you can really see stuff pay off, because some stuff has taken 80-90% hits, and I think it's just a matter of time before we start to see things bounce back, as every market has. I think we're going to see stuff bounce back. So essentially, if you want to kind of get into more specifics, what I'm essentially going for is more of LeBron exquisites, Kobe exquisites, Jordan low pop autographs. I think have incredible room for growth. You couldn't even find a Michael Jordan autograph for under $6,000-$7,000 in 2021, and I think some of these stuff that is just ending, under 3K, that are numbered to 23, that are numbered to 10, these incredible deals you can kind of search out in the market. I think it's pretty much a great time in terms of these things and the long-term potential. Now, of course, you do want to look at the pops. A lot of some certain autographs that have been actually hit the most are autographs that have a very high population comparatively. So one that comes to mind is like a 2012 Prism Kobe autograph, which is one of his more common autographs. So these, have taken a tremendous hit. I remember when these were around $20,000, and they're currently down to, a PSA 10 is $6,300, a PSA 9 is $2,900. This is first year Prism. It's a very iconic, important card that, in my opinion, will always have a lot of long-term, interest. It's a very clean looking card. Stuff like this has really taken a hit, and I think it's bound to bounce back if you ask me. I don't see stuff like this ending this low for very long. I think buyers at some point just want to see stability in the market before they get back into it. I've talked to a lot of higher end investors on my side, and a lot of people are, just trying to wait until we kind of see prices level out a little bit. And when prices level out a little bit, I guarantee you a lot more money is going to be coming back into the sports card market. And when that does happen, a lot of these important iconic cards, such as Kobe's 2012 Prism Auto, I think are bound to see great increases. Same with LeBron James Exquisites. I think are just, his more important cards in terms of long-term interest. In LeBron's market, I'm seeing a lot of people turn away from base cards, normal cards that can be printed over and over again, hypothetically. Of course, not with like LeBron rookie cards I'm talking more of just really common cards, that are just not very exciting to own. And I think the market is turning a little bit more into a hobby again. Of course, there's still a lot of great investments, but the hobby side of it is still growing really well and really healthy. There's a lot of big athletes getting in, and I think that's going to really cause people to go after more of the eye-appealing autographs. And I think for LeBron, that's going to really, especially for LeBron, because he had a poor season last year in terms of his team success. So his market's a little bit down right now, and I think it's just a matter of time before we start to see it pick back up. I've been buying quite a lot of just random exquisites, trying to get Cavs jersey or pro jerseys, because I've noticed kind of college jerseys starting to wear off a little bit in terms of interest, but stuff like this I think is going to do very well long term. I remember when people were selling these for 15,000 plus, and I just think it's a matter of time before the interest picks up again for these low pop, just very interesting cards. So I definitely think it's a good time. If you're looking for places to snipe some deals, auction houses are probably the way to go, because so much stuff is ending at once and there's just not as many buyers right now. So you can definitely snag some really good deals on Golden, on Alt, on PWCC Marketplace, and Auction House, of course. So I definitely think that's kind of the place to be looking at shows. I've noticed people are a little bit high on their prices. It's tough to get good deals. So I think if you're kind of sticking to auction houses, you can see some really great deals come about. And then, of course, Wax. You guys know I've been talking about Wax for a very long time in terms of just investing, because as you guys know, breakers are opening up these boxes at incredibly fast rates. And what that is causing is supply to go down very fast. And as supply is going down on these boxes, I definitely think demand, even if it stays steady in the long term, prices should be going up. I definitely think Prism Football Hobby boxes right now could be a great buy. Of course, I don't think they're on Card Ladder yet, but we could check them on eBay. I think if you're wanting to just buy some very safe, investments, go for some Wax. If you really cannot afford to lose, I think Wax is going to hold up very well, because breakers are still breaking very much so, and a lot of new breakers are coming into the game. So I really hope this video helped you guys out. If you would like to join in on our Sports Card Invest membership program, the link will be down below to sportscardsinvest.com. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.